Adam Driver played a street lord, a policeman, a stage director, and now finally he plays a driver. Well, almost. A self-absorbed, demanding businessman who used to be a race driver. An Italian car manufacturer who fights against chocolate manufacturer and seeking this holiday week in cinema.
If you get into one of my cars, you get in the win.
The movie continues the biopic line this year following Oppenheimer, but cutting 1 hour of length and yet not quality. Ferrari is a biopic about cars, so if you aren't interested in those, you shouldn't go. Nothing more, nothing less. Unfortunately, they went with pretty short period of his life. Moreover, it's hard to name a biopic as it pictures less than a year of characters' life. Please subscribe, support. I see that we are growing, so the most I want is to hear your comments on everything. Please express yourself. It's a vicious circle in Enzo Ferrari's life, as the movie starts with the death of his pilot and it ends with an even bigger death of his new pilot. In between, it's Ferrari's family matters, races and Italian views. In general, I didn't find anything too complicated and emotionally draining. Enzo Ferrari tries to juggle his two families and manage the going-down business. During the war, he cheated with the factory worker, and now he has a son who is a bastard.
He has no birthright, he's a damn bastard.
His legal wife, Penelope Cruz, who is gorgeous here, is living through a child loss and an unfaithful husband. And adding to that, that husband is asking her to give her part in their joint business. She asks for some money, which she can't even cash, as it will bankrupt the company. Enzo prepares his new pilot for the upcoming race. He uses all his resources to cement Ferrari's name in racing rather than in car production. And partially he succeeds, as his car wins the race. But tragically, the other one gets in a terrible accident, killing the driver and a bunch of viewers. My man Adam. He really is an award-worthy actor. He played a bunch of roles, none of them brought him an Academy Award, but this one may, as it's a biopic, so the movie is centered around a person and he proudly carries the movie. It's not a 100% win, but a nomination for sure. He's an egoistic, self-centered, demanding, unstoppable, loud and cruel man. He's interested only in his own passions, whether it's races or women. Second best is of course Penelope Cruz. She owns the shot when she's in it. She has some longer sequences oriented on her emotions, and she didn't disappoint. It's sad to see her fallen victim to time, as she is no longer a passionate, loud young lady. She is a middle-aged, passionate, loud lady.
What do you care? Huh? You have another son, you have another wife!
She's not my wife!
Cars and races are of really good quality. Vintage Ferrari cars are so pleasant to look at, especially compared with nowadays designs. And races in the Italian mountains are something that aroused my interest in this movie after a very slow-paced and sometimes boring second act. Italy. It's a tricky move. Just to be in Italy is magnificently beautiful. You don't really need to build sets or use CGI environments. They shot on locations and the movie is soaked in the Italian atmosphere. How anyone can put Italy on the bad sides? Of course, it's a big plus.
Signora, I limone, signora!
Throw stones at me, but I think it's the shortest biopic in history. It tells a story only of a year or something. Not a lot is known about how he started his business or how he was raised, why he became who he became. Like, we have this small period, take it or leave it. I'd be very interested in a glimpse of his childhood. Besides, I have seen a little change in him at the end. And it's pretty interesting that we see several deaths in the movie and they occurred not because of him. It's rather what effect they created on him. So he is not the driving force of his biopic, it's his reactions to the events that decides his fate. Second act. The middle of the movie is very slow until the race begins. It's like Lynyrd Skynyrd's Free Bird, you need to wait a while to have a fiery solo. Of course it's arguable, but I think a few races in the middle wouldn't have hurt. It's a nitpick, but even the best part of the movie could have been better. During the race it was hard to distinguish between red cars, as there were several red cars only from Ferrari and the same red cars from Maserati. So for me the race lost a little of its intensity, as it was hard to distinguish friend or foe, as during action hard to notice small logos on the cars. I think in general it's a good movie to watch. It ain't long or too boring, too complicated or too overwhelming. Watching a good biopic about cars with good actors and locations will better your evening. I rate this 10 out of 12. It has some flaws, besides not everyone likes either biopics or cars, but some people will find it extremely good.